Yo, it's your boy. Welcome to the reaction. All right, growing up a black nerd was kind of weird. I think I agree or disagree. I don't know. I think in the early 2000s, I was able to meet people and like the shit I like, but it was still seen as like, what is that shit? But I didn't give a fuck. So let's go.
So about a week ago, I put out my video where I talked about how a lot of nerd spaces really don't like black people. Whether it's the anime community, the cosplay community, or even just like the online video game space, a lot of people in these communities don't like black people, are really racist, and really don't want black people to be anywhere near them or involved in them. And it was really cool that a lot of people who watched the video resonated.
I'm not gonna lie. The moment I started going to conventions, I was like, I'm in these spaces, right? Being in these spaces, I already dealt with YouTube and YouTube comments and like criticism and stuff like that. So I didn't really care because before these spaces, I was like, what's going on necessarily? Like, what is happening, right? When I got more deep into the internet stuff, I found that there's a pit of racism and most of it is just bots. Like 9 times out of 10, it is bots. Everybody online is just a bunch of bots from another bunch of different countries, not even from America, are just racist as hell. And that's it.
With the message, and were even in the comments sharing their experiences with dealing with a lot of these online nerd spaces. But while I was scrolling through the comments, I realized that there's actually another experience outside of the racism that a lot of black nerds and honestly just nerds in general are all connected by. And it's really just the fact that growing up as a nerd had to be bottom 5 experiences of all time. Because in 2025, being a nerd is cool, it's trendy, you know, you're an interesting person, you're so cool if you have niche hobbies. Anime's popular. I mean, can you even consider yourself cool if you don't like video games?
Is he lying? He ain't lying. He ain't lying. He's not lying. Because you gotta really open your mind to it. Like, think about it. If you like anime, you know what the fuck is up. But some people back in the day, like they'd be like, oh, the early 90s, you could say, I love Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, you know what I mean? But like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, like Dragon Ball Z, 2000s, like you really gotta tap in. Anime was not a cultural icon until animated movies. Akira, you know what I'm saying, Howl's Moving Castle, like Spirited Away, Ghost in the Shell, Cowboy Bebop, you know what I'm saying? Like you really gotta count that a lot of anime can really change who they are, right? And like Kai Cenat said it, anime is really touching him to the point where he's like, yo, like it's helping with my mental health because that shit is the best.
After that, so many famous people are coming out expressing their love for all these nerdy things. But take it from me at my old age of 23, I'm here to tell you this is a fairly new
33.
concept. Because before 2020, in the 2010s and below, I promise you nobody treated these nerdy interests like this. Because, okay, look, I can't speak for everyone, right? I can only speak for what I went through, but I'm black, right? Being a black nerd growing up was such a weird experience. Because from a very early age, a lot of the things that I were interested in wasn't that common with the people around me. Because when I say I was a nerd, that don't mean like I was just playing video games and watching anime. No, dude, like I was diving into the deepest icebergs of creepypastas. 2 of my favorite things to watch on YouTube was Salad Fingers and Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Not to mention I was heavily into nerdcore music, specifically The Living Tombstone. And for a young black kid growing up, telling your friends to watch Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared with you or to listen to the newest Living Tombstone song, bro, it got you stared at in the weirdest way. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I didn't have.
I wasn't into any of that shit on the internet because it didn't seem like to be the best thing for me. But I was always looking at Twitter, G4, animated stuff. I was obsessed when it came to animation, when it comes to Cartoon Hangover and stuff I was invested in.
Friends growing up, like I was social. I guess from like the outside looking in, I was normal. But it just kind of sucked at times because like I was really into these things. Like I was really into video games. I was really into anime when anime wasn't considered cool. I was really into like a lot of these niche nerdy stuff. Growing up, I didn't really care about watching like Hannah Montana or like the live action stuff on Nick. I liked Cartoon Network over everything else. And a lot of just this niche nerdy stuff, like I would really spend most of my time instead of watching like TV, I would watch YouTubers and things like that before YouTubing was considered cool. And this would kind of lead to me having like different sets of friends. I would have like my few nerdy friends that had like the common interests as me, and then I'd have like my other group of friends that you know they didn't
I started separating. I agree with him. I had like more nerdier friends that I separated from like my building friends that used to hang out in the building. And yeah, I separated a lot of people or kept people separated because like they all seemed like to be different segment of friends.
Really have the same nerdy interests as me, but we liked other things, but I couldn't really talk to them about some of the stuff that were my hobbies or things I was interested in because they thought it was weird. And I feel like for black nerds, this was a real struggle because not only were the things that you were into considered not cool, but the people that look like you, the black people around you, they would say things like, oh, that's a white people thing. Why do you like that white stuff? Or they'll say like, that's not a black thing that you're into.
Something about being a black nerd is that at my younger age,
What the fuck are you wearing?
Other blurs around me. Like, I'll never forget kindergarten and second grade. I was like, everybody was in Pokemon, right? And in third grade, I finally got Pokemon cards and went to this dude. I was like, yo, Dylan, I got Pokemon cards. He looked me up and down, went, nigga, I'm in third grade. I'm too old for Pokemon cards. And I'm like, what? That was like the most earth-shattering thing for me because I waited since kindergarten to finally bond with people with video games and Pokemon and all that stuff. And they started saying they're too old for it. At third grade, like looking back, I still think it's ridiculous, but it shattered my heart.
Because parents would say, oh, you too old for this, or you should stop playing with that. My parents didn't give a shit. I came home with Yu-Gi-Oh cards, collector's items. They did not care. They just thought, they knew what it was. It's a hobby. It's a trend. It's a this. It's a that. That is what it is, right? If you got the right parents. And some parents probably be like, yeah, you too old for this. We're throwing this away. You know what I'm saying? Or you gotta grow up because you gotta grow up fast.
It's not that I didn't want to connect with black people, but I didn't know any other blurs that like Minecraft. And a blur put me closer to whiteness, not because I wanted to hang out with white people, but I just wanted to hang out with like Minecraft.
And I kind of talked about this at the end of my other video, but half of the reason why I found out that there was so much racism in a lot of these nerd spaces is because I would go into them at a young age trying to find people with similar interests, and the only reason I was doing that was because there wasn't really any spaces for black nerds that had the same interests. Like, I remember in middle school I was really into a lot of rock, a lot of pop punk. I was listening to My Chemical Romance, Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco, and the amount of times I would try to put my friends on these bands and got told, bro, that's white people music, was insane. And when I say white people music, they didn't mean,
I'm not gonna lie, Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco, they were jams back in the day. Like, when I played these songs, a lot of my classmates heard them on TV at some point in Slotion. So the crazy part is, these songs were hit. We're going down, down, feeling fast. Sugar, we're going down, feeling... You know what I'm saying? Like, you got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, these songs were popping at that point. We're going down, 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 down. Like, come on. Like, Paramore, like, come on. Like, these... Like, you know when a song hits your soul? It does.
oh, because those particular bands were white, it was white people music. No, they meant the entire genre, pop, punk, rock, anything in that category. Oh, it was only for white people. All for me to grow up later on and find out, wait, no, black people have huge contributions in these genres of music.
Never have I broke somebody.
How do you get the voice to do that? I thought that was just a white thing. I didn't know black people had it.
A lot of people don't know that black musicians pioneered punk rock music. Growing up in Atlanta, I got told only white people listen to it. But punk rock, pop punk, emo, and even metal are all built on the creativity of black people. Before the explosion of punk music in the mid-70s, there was a band called Death that laid the foundation for the punk sound. In the UK, polystyrene created the archetype for socially conscious rebellion in punk rock's underground. The band Bad Brains originally came together to make jazz and reggae, but their influence on rock music is present even today. And when they noticed they weren't getting coverage from places like BET, they were vocal about the fact that rock music was a product of black expression and creativity. If you're a black nerd, never be afraid to march to the beat of your own drum. Entire genres are a result of your unique rhythm.
And I don't really know how this goes for a lot of other groups, but for black nerds, I kind of feel like this is a coming of age moment. The moment where you realize, hey, I'm not actually weird for liking these things. And in fact, a lot of those people that acted like I was weird for liking these things, they were secretly into it too.
I kind of feel like being told that you're not black enough is just kind of the black experience in and of itself. Like where I went to school, like sometimes we would just not talk about the things that we did that everybody didn't do.
Nah, I talked about the shit I did. Like, yo, I watched that anime last Sunday or last Friday to Saturday, man. This was amazing. I was talking about, what's it, Tenjo Tenge? Oh my god. Some of you don't know, but if you don't know, then you don't know. But I love Tenjo Tenge. I liked the music. I remember Speed Grapher was a crazy ass fucking anime. Like, anime on television was where I was at because I didn't get like the internet to my house for like after high school. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And that's where I got more into content creation. So I ain't gonna lie. When you nowhere, you somewhere. Let's get it.
Like you come to school talking about Friday and the Parkers. You don't talk about Friends, even if you did watch it. Occasionally you let it slip out.
I'm like, Friends was a show that I grew up on before ever going to school. Like, I went to school late, so all the early 2000s and mid-90s TV shows were on reruns all the time. And when I got new episodes, I knew, wow, during the week, these are brand spanking new. So I knew, hey, Friends, yeah. Friends, Charmed, Angel, Buffy, Angel. Well, Buffy, then Angel came out. You know what I'm saying? Smallville, like, you know what I mean? Like, you knew shows like WB11 before they changed it to CW. It was WB11 because Warner Brothers was everywhere at the time. You knew where money and energy was being put into when you liked something and watched something. I watched so much pop culture growing up. I knew it all because of just regular TV at first. And even anime, I knew about it as a kid. Hamtaro, Sailor Moon, Card Captors, Dragon Ball Z. You know what I'm saying? Case Closed. When you know about anime, when I found out about anime, it was thanks to like WB11, waking up super early. Power Rangers, Fox Kids WB, like come on, man. There was moments of TV shows and cartoons and moments. Like there were moments on television that people just don't understand because if you weren't waking up at a certain time or tuning in, RoboCop coming on animated RoboCop coming on regular TV, Street Sharks, get out of here, bro. Oh my god. I remember watching Beast Wars and like Voltron the Third Dimension. Like let's fucking go.
Out that you was watching Seventh Heaven. And somebody in the room
Seventh Heaven. I grew up on Seven
The
Heaven.
amount of times I got told by people my own age growing up, oh dude, why do you watch all those cartoons? That's so childish. But now that I have this animation channel and I talk about cartoons that I grew up on, I talk about current day stuff. Now all of a sudden everybody loves cartoons. All these people that told me, oh, watching cartoons is childish, now all of a sudden they grew up watching regular show and The Amazing World of Gumball and all these Cartoon Network shows. When I tell y'all, me trying to get someone to watch an anime before 2017 was like me asking them to commit a crime. But now all of a sudden, oh, I got people hitting me up that I've known for a long time saying, yo, don't you talk about all the shows? Give me an anime to watch. What's up?
Because there's nothing to watch. Dead ass. There's nothing to watch. There's nothing good on TV no more. The problem with like anime being so readily available is the fact that there's nothing to watch. There is nothing to tune into. Like there's nothing to fucking watch. If you think I'm lying, everything now is through either you're watching a YouTube content creator, either you're watching Netflix, Hulu, or stuff like that. You're no longer watching regular cable. Which, mind you, I grew up on regular TV. And this is TV. We gotta fix the little black dongle to the back of it and hook the wires to the TV. That's regular television before I ever got cable in my fucking house, officially. And we got satellite TV. That shit was ass. DirecTV was garbage. I hope DirecTV go out of business. You were ass. When it rains, I can't watch nothing. So fuck out of here. With the weather, fuck out of here. Optimum was the best choice to ever transfer to. Internet was aight. You know what I'm saying? Verizon is what I have now for internet. Why? It's better. But people will ask you for recommendations because they got nothing to watch.
What's one of those animes you like that I should start watching? And I think that's just really due to the fact that a lot of nerdy things or things that people consider nerdy growing up are really popular now. Like when I was in middle school and high school, the amount of people that thought it was so lame that I was into musicals, dude, I could count on multiple hands. But then you look at a show like Has-Been Hotel, an animated show with cringy internet humor and a complete musical soundtrack, like Broadway style soundtrack, and it's one of the biggest shows in the world. Like I said before, people used to think anime was so lame, and now when you look at some of the biggest performing movies out right now, a lot of them are anime films. The culture just kind of has shifted to where a lot of these things are considered cool by society standards now, and a lot of people are getting into them whether they genuinely want to or because it's trendy. And if
it's because they have no choice. You got no choice. Why? Is because it's making the money. It's all over your timeline. You like something, it's gonna show up. You got no fucking choice. When they said the meek will inherit the earth, bitch, it's us. I'm the meek. It's the people that know what
I'm being honest, I feel like this is kind of the case because it's an upside to being a nerd. Like, I feel like whether you grow up a black nerd, a white nerd, Hispanic, Asian, like just a nerd in general, I feel like because you were into all these niche, interesting things, and like you had all these hobbies or interests that weren't really that common, it kind of formed you into an interesting person. And as I get older, I tend to notice that people who grew up into weird things, they tend to become way more interesting than people who just towed the straight line. Like, there was a trend that was going around on TikTok a couple months back called the "you need to nerd out" trend, and this trend really exposed in real time how many people are boring and have absolutely no interest. And I don't mean that in no mean way, but the trend originally started off with nerds using the sound and basically posting like a ton of things that they're interested in. So whether maybe they would post things like Wizard 101, they would post like video games, anime, you know, certain shows they grew up on, but like keep it really nerdy. And it was just such a cool trend to watch because number one, you got to show off your interest, but number two, you might have seen somebody else's post and it would remind you of something that you were interested in that you might have forgotten about. Like, there was one girl who posted her trend and she had Alice Madness Returns, and dude, I was obsessed with this game when I found out about it. Like, the whole concept of a twisted wonderland and using Alice to fight through it, dude, it was the coolest thing to me. But I had forgot about the game and I never actually got to play it. I only got to watch playthroughs. Dude, the second I saw the game, dude, I went to Steam, downloaded the game, and I went and beat it. But the trend kept getting bigger and bigger, and once it got bigger, everyone started participating in it. And once everyone started participating, you start to realize, oh wow, a lot of people who did not in fact grow up nerds are kind of boring. In a trend where you're supposed to talk about things you're passionate about, things that you obsess over, things that you literally nerd out over.
Nigga, what is this? Frank Ocean's Blonde. I don't know what fucking drink this is. Taco Bell. What the fuck? What? Dr. Pepper. Target. I don't know what book this is. Some fucking lotion. TikTok and Taylor Swift. Oh, and I think this is Roblox. Get the fuck out of here.
We had people putting sleep, eating, Walmart, Chipotle. Like, what does that even
Niggas
mean?
are losers.
You need to nerd out, and proceeds to put the most basic thing ever that everyone's already done that doesn't involve anything related to being nerdy. People are putting, oh, Cane's Chicken Fingers, Target, Dr. Pepper. What the? That's not, what is that? Nerding out involves liking things that aren't conventionally liked by other people in society. For instance, well, not now, but it used to be anime, liking manga related stuff, the whole comics aspect. No, Brittany, going to Dunkin' Donuts does not make you a nerd. And no, Carol, walking your dog does not make you a nerd. I never thought it was possible to ruin a trend that badly. And then we have individuals just putting the most random things ever to just join the trend. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't, but you look at the other stuff that's on the screen, you're like, I think you straight lying. And the one that's the most prevalent that I've heard, liking Taco Bell is not a nerd thing. Everyone does that. Everyone has been to a Taco Bell. It is the United States. You all have lost the plot to this trend. You have. And you just ruined it.
And it kind of started this whole thing of like people commenting on these posts and being like, dude, I think you could have skipped this one out.
Do y'all not know, like, I got into a Metroid Prime, like, super early. This is like before I even got, like, with my girl. Like, I got really into Samus, like, for no reason. I just had a feeling to start collecting all Metroid Prime memorabilia. Anything I get my hands on. I got a couple big ones, ain't gonna lie, pause, is what she said. But I just started collecting just because I'm like, I need it. I need it! So I got it.
You're not really a nerd. You don't really have any hobbies or interests. And you know, these people were defending themselves saying things like, oh, well, you can technically nerd out about anything. And it's like, yeah, can you? But like, come on, dude, be for real. And look, I'm not saying anyone should get attacked for participating in trends or not. I'm like not condoning any of that. But one thing that I did notice that I thought was really interesting, it was very clear that the people who grew up nerds, the people who grew up into things that people considered lame or nerdy, they had way more interests and hobbies than the people who didn't. And I thought that was so interesting to see. But like I said, being a nerd is such a weird experience because now I've actually come to a point where I've noticed that the actual title of nerd and that a lot of these nerdy interests are being gatekept. For some reason, there's a lot of people that, you know, have this elitism when it comes to things to say, oh, you know, I was a nerd back before any of this stuff was cool. You know, I was into this stuff before you even found out about it. You're not a real nerd. I'm a day one nerd and things like that. And while in this you need to nerd out trend, I kind of understood why people people were calling people out. Like, come on, man, you can't call yourself a nerd and you're talking about you just like going to Chipotle. We all like going to Chipotle.
Yeah,
but like, I've seen
like
people say,
Chipotle no
oh,
more.
you're not a real anime fan if you started watching anime before 2020. Like, what? Or they'll say things like, oh, that thing that you think is nerdy, it's not really nerdy. That's just like basic nerd stuff. Like, if you want to actually call yourself a nerd, you got to really dive into the deep stuff.
I just saw a video of a guy saying he's so glad that he grew up being a nerd, and he showed his bookcase full of Legos and comic books and video games, and it was really wholesome, honestly. Tell me why all of the comments are people being like, actually, Legos and comic books don't make you nerdy. That's actually really mainstream and normal, and everybody does it. You can call me stupid if you want. I thought
Nigga, I got Legos and I was like in middle school and I was playing with Legos and I kept playing with them up until high school and building the same few Legos because I didn't want my parents buying any more because I can really build some Legos. I used to build a house spaceship, a car, a transformer. I used to do it. I even built armor out of one. I was doing too much with them Legos. But I'm not gonna lie, that is just crazy to call Legos and comics mainstream or regular. They were never that. What the fuck are we talking about?
like Legos and comics were like the foundational baseline of being a nerd. Like, if you do that, you're kind of like a nerd. Like, that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying every nerd reads comic books and play with Legos. I'm like, I thought that was obvious. Am I dumb? I don't know. They were treating the word nerd like it was a slur. They were like, you're not a nerd. Don't ever say that about yourself. I'm like, whoa, guys, relax.
And if I'm being honest, I think it all just comes from a place of hurt. I've said over and over in this video that growing up as a nerd was a weird experience, and I've kind of made light of it. But for a lot of people, it did suck so much. Like I already said before, I had friends, I was social. I never got bullied for being a nerd. In fact, I actually remember a specific moment in high school. A lot of the kids that I went to...
I remember this nigga, I have like 3 friends named Nick. And one of them, this dude was like a jock, I guess. Nick Abelin, some shit like that. He said some shit to me when he was like topped off on like sports. I was like, and mine just was like after football, they all playing football. I was like, yo, bro, like relax. It's not that serious. The game is over. And he was like, yo, shut the fuck up, you fucking nerd. I said, so I'm a fucking nerd. And nigga, the fuck? You yelling over a game that's over. That's not even that big of a deal. He's like, shut the fuck. He was cursing at me. I was like, yo, shut the fuck up, bro. It's not that big of a deal. Do something about it. Do something about it. Pussy, I thought so. I was like, you're not gonna do nothing about it anyway, nigga. You crying over a game that's not real. You were just playing football. Y'all playing for points. Like, nigga, he was so weird. He got so upset and so mad in his feelings. I know him to this day, kinda. We don't talk a lot, but you know, I try to see what's good with him. It's been a minute. But that was a weird experience. And I wasn't bullied per se, but it'd be shit like that. Like niggas be dissing you because you a nerd. And I'd be like, suck my dick, so what?
Middle school with, they ended up going to the...
And I always thought of different games at like gym time. I always be like jumping over shit, playing like frisbee with like a ball, like, you know what I mean, just having fun.
Same high school as me, and some of them I weren't really friends with them in middle school, but I ended up becoming friends with them in high school. And I remember we were all sitting around talking, and some of them that I was friends with now, they said, yo, Corin, you really used to be so weird in middle school. Like, you used to be into all that anime and all that other stuff. And I remember just sitting there laughing because I'm like, dude, that's still me. Like, I'm still into like all the same nerdy stuff, the creepypastas, the YouTube videos, the anime, the animation stuff. Like, none of that stuff ever changed. I guess I presented myself in a different way, so they kind of assumed that I grew out of it. But I'm like, dude, I'm the exact same person. And that was mainly because you could never make me feel bad for liking the things I liked. Like, I knew video games were cool, so you could never make me feel bad for liking video games. Or like, I knew animation was awesome, so you could never make me feel childish for watching adventure.
People never made me feel childish or nothing like that because it made no sense to make me feel bad over that shit. Like, what? I enjoy this. I don't know what the fuck you enjoy. I enjoy anime. I enjoy Comic Cons. I enjoy conventions. I enjoy going to stuff. I enjoy collecting Metroid Prime stuff. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy those things. I just wish I had a space to show it off because I love what I love with no sense of like, oh, I'm gonna just stop doing it. Unless the money stops, then that's different.
Time or regular show. In fact, I would go as far as to say, like, if you weren't into the things that I was into, I legitimately felt bad for you. Like, I thought your childhood sucked. Honestly, the biggest struggles I had growing up as a nerd was just the finding people who had the same interests as me and, you know, wanted to be open about it. But the amount of people that I met over the years, especially now that I've started making content on the things that I like and, you know, just posting on social media, bro, the amount of people that I've met who have said that they got bullied for liking this stuff, or, you know, like their lives were really hell because of it is so crazy. And for a lot of people, these nerdy interests, whether it's video games, whether it's a certain media that you watch, whether it's comic books or anything of that nature, maybe cosplay, like a lot of these things were their escape from, you know, being bullied, from, you know, not fitting in. And I guess that's where a lot of the gatekeeping you see comes in, because, you know, like I said, I don't feel no type of way of seeing people that, you know, used to clown on the things that I like getting into it. I actually enjoy it because I always knew this stuff was cool, so people getting into it just validates that I was always right. But I can imagine if you got bullied for it, if people picked on you for, you know, liking anime, for liking things that weren't conventionally considered cool, then I could imagine you seeing these people get into the thing, and that would make you feel some type of way. That would rub you the wrong way. But as much as it does suck to hear, you kind of just got to move on, man. Like, you know, it's kind of like you were at the bottom at one point. Now the thing that was made you at the bottom is put you at the top, and you can't just like now want to take the role of the bully and try to gatekeep or try to come at people.
No, fuck all of that. Fuck that shit, man. Fuck them niggas. Gatekeep that shit. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because everybody was like, well, they gonna gatekeep spit. They want to kick you out of sports stuff, or you can't do this, or you can't do that. I hated football. I remember they put me in football. I said, nigga, I don't want to be in football. I told the football coach, I don't want to be here, bro. I hate football. This is not my thing. I don't want to be in the thing. I just want to use the gym. He said, okay, just go use the gym. I just want to go work out. Like, that's it. I don't want to go to football or be in football. I don't know why they put me here, but I'm gonna let you know this now. I hate football. And he looked at me dead in my face, was like, copy. Let me get you out of here before they all fight you. Because that was it. Gatekeep, fuck gate. I'm okay with people gatekeeping this shit. You want to know why? Because you grew up with it and you enjoyed it so much to the point where other people were like, that shit's whack. And now look at them niggas now. I feel sorry for you because you coming on board the train when the train, I was already on it when the train was in pieces. It was just like a little, you know, one of those like little trains. I was on board that shit when it wasn't fancy. And now that it's more fancy, I was first class in that bitch. You coming in the back. I'm first class sitting here. How does that feel? And you know what? I also agree. Don't gatekeep the shit. Let them enjoy it. Because you want to know why? They weren't here at the bottom where it was not the most popular thing in the world. It was small. It was little niche. And it was just that little niche that they'll never ever be a part of. That's why let them have it, but gatekeep some parts of it because they won't be like, oh, where were you when you watched Dragon Ball? In my room. Where were you when you watched this? At this point in time, I was super young. They won't have those same memories. They'll just be like, oh yeah, I watched it last week. Did you ever watch it before? No. Exactly. They won't have those core building memories. They'll be new to it. You a noob. You new to this. That's okay. Just remember, you a new bitch. You is a new bitch. I've been here. I'm the old bitch that's been understanding that the new shit that comes in, just like new anime, there will be no new big three. Just like there will be only new niggas coming into anime, thinking that there's a new big three or big five or big seven or some stupid shit. You can gatekeep it. But even if you don't, remember, they won't have the core memories of what made this shit poppin', which was us. The nerds that been putting money in this shit since it was a little bitty baby. And then it grew to be a massive juggernaut making billions of dollars. Let's get it.
Or attack people for being into the interest that you're interested in now. It's kind of...
I do disagree with attacking people. You can still gatekeep some shit. Like, somebody asked me, like, yo, where's this place you took photos at? In Queens. Bye. You know what I'm saying? I'll gatekeep some shit. But you don't attack people. You know what I mean? Don't yell at people for enjoying it. Just kind of take note, like, you don't know about this. You don't know about this. You wasn't there when this shit was small. You wasn't there when the resolution was ass. Nah, you new to this, and that's okay. Be a new bitch.
Like, you just gotta move on. But I guess if I could end this video on any message, I would say, dude, whatever that thing is that you like out there, whether it's, you know, considered cool, whether it's not considered cool, as long as you like it, bro, stick with it. As long as it's not hurting anyone and you genuinely enjoy it, stick with it. Because I promise you, my life became so much more happier, and I became such a happier person when I stopped worrying about trying to be cool or worrying about what other people think and just stick with the things that I already enjoyed. Because I'm telling you, when you find things that you genuinely enjoy, whether people think it's cool or not, bro, it will make your life so much better. Because like we talked about earlier in this video, majority of people are boring and have no hobbies and interests. So if you have at least one, you're ahead of most people.
Now that was a W video, I'm not gonna lie to you, and he kept it up front, he kept it real. Look, being a nerd has never been the most coolest thing ever. I love stuff like Attack of the Nerds and Attack of the Nerds 2 and stuff like that. Nerds and being a nerd, like not just the stuff you like makes you a nerd, but there's actual like people out there who like are scholars and are super smart as shit, creating plasma guns and stuff. Like, I want you to realize being a nerd doesn't have to be a struggle anymore. You can actually have fun with it. People are still gonna get made fun of, anime and cartoons and video games, stuff like that, but fuck them. Enjoy that shit. Because guess what? It's your life to live. It's your life to enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy the shit that you love, nobody else is gonna enjoy that shit. Take pride in it. Take some semblance of, you can sit down, play that video game you love, and immerse yourself in the story, dig deep into it, look stuff up online, make friends because of it. You never know. And if new people come in this bitch, fuck them. Let them niggas enjoy themselves because they wanted to find a hobby that wasn't theirs. They wanted to stop being a normie ass person. Just tap in. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, comment, notify. It's your boy Fatman. Make sure to never give up, never surrender, keep on grinding. Peace. And I'm out. But let me know what you think. Have you ever been bullied for just being a nerd, or have you been a bully and then you realize you was the nerd? Let me know in the comments below.
Shit. Getting bit on drum. You little niggas gonna stop acting like my shit ain't the grill. Some of you niggas get your front teeth for grills. And I ain't talking about the contract.
Ain't loving these fake hoes. Room smelling like 8 switches. Room service like 2K. NBA, I'm ballin', nigga. All them niggas falling like all them niggas. Talking shit, I saw them niggas. Now they daughter want a picture. Rough, ain't it? Fuck famous. Niggas too real, got the most haters. Wrote a story, so Stephen Curry.